Welcome to Slamfire Radio, episode 426, recording live from the corner of First and First, the Nexus of the Universe, on Thursday, October 14th. I'm one of your hosts, Mo.
And I'm one of your hosts, Kelly.
And I'm another one of your hosts, Adriel.
And I am another one, Kyle.
All right. I think we got everybody.
Yep.
We'll get into what we did with guns. What we did with guns is brought to you by the Calgary Shooting Centre, Canada's premier firearm retailer. They have the Bog Pods back in stock. Bog Pods. Bog
Just
Pods.
say it 5 times fast.
Yeah, say it 5 times really fast. Bog Pods.
Are we showing the Bog Pods?
Sure. That's
Okay.
them right there.
There's
It's
the
like a
Bog
tripod.
Pod.
You like squeeze the thing and pop it out and shoot your deer in the face
All right.
with a bit more of a steady shot.
Okay.
Tripods.
If you didn't make it out to a maple seed and you can't hasty sling for to save your life, use one of those. But if you have been to a maple seed, we expect you to hasty sling. And
Okay. All right.
Get on that, Mel.
Who's got the biggest list? I think it looks like Kelly. So we'll start off with Kelly this week.
Awesome,
Kelly?
because I didn't change it.
so it's actually the smallest list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Why don't you go on to somebody else? Because I'm going to just hold on. I got a cough. So,
Adriel.
I have the smallest list because I have no guns. My
Okay.
AR-15s that I have to keep because they're prohib and I can't transfer them to anyone else. But yeah, I got those. I got no guns though. But I did get a spotting scope. So Precision Rifle Craft on Facebook and YouTube was really like strongly recommending these Bushnell T-Series 15 to 45 spotting scopes. I don't have a spotting scope. I've got like a badass rifle scope. I had a spotting scope before. It was it was like a $200 Bushnell.
Yeah.
And it was a piece of crap and it was not worth the money. So I used my fancy rifle scope and I didn't bother. And my opinion since then has been spotting scopes are great, but you have to spend a huge amount on them for them to be even worth it. There's no point touching anything at low price. This is $460. I'm going to see if this is worth it. I think it's going to be worth it. Like technology changes over time, right?
Yeah.
With laser rangefinders, 10 years ago, if you bought a laser rangefinder and you didn't spend $700, you have wasted your money because it would be good for golfing. That's it. 300 yards, maybe. But now you can get laser rangefinders that work for up to $1,000, and they don't have to be $600-700. They can be cheaper. So I'm hoping that's the case with spotting scopes these days. I hope that the glass and optics are at a point now where they're better than a rifle scope of a similar price point.
Yeah.
I'm hoping so.
You know what I'd be interested in seeing?
Mhm.
You doing a comparison between the spotting scope as well as a good set of binoculars with range on it as well.
Well, tell you
Wow.
what,
Okay.
I have both
Tell
of
you
those, and they're both going into my review. So yeah, that's exactly what's happening. Now, one problem is that the binoculars are 8 buys, and these are like 15 at a minimum. So like there's a magnification difference.
Yeah.
I took a look through these things. So one thing that's different with this rather than a spotting scope, so it's using a folded light path. So that's a little bit different. And the other is that it's an FFP reticle on this thing. So this is made to be used as a spotting scope for like PRS shooting, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Stick a red dot on top just to get your like initial aim and then look through the lens to, do the rest, or put a laser on there or something else that'll be really interesting when I do my review.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's got an FFP reticle in there. This one's mil. So if your other shooters are shooting with mil, you can actually tell them to hold over. You're 2 mil to the left, 2 mil to the right. And that's what you can do with something like this. So I hope it's good. He seems to think it's good, and he shoots PRS more than I do. So I'll just take him at his word for it. But yeah, I'm going to compare that against, that was...
Lucas Riflecraft?
Yes, Lucas Riflecraft. Yeah.
Okay.
And I got a little camera clamp on dealy there, so I can stick that with my camera on, and I can do that with my binos as well. And I'm also going to compare it against, I don't think it's fair, but I'll compare it against like that Cabell's Covenant 7, and I'll compare it against, which it should beat, and then I'll compare it against my Citron S3, which is like $1,200, which it probably won't.
Yeah.
But that's okay. So
good comparisons.
Yeah, I'll take a look at those.
Okay.
I told my buddy to buy a CF98. I don't know if I mentioned it on the air, but I told him to buy it, and so it's in, and very oily, and it's a Nork pistol.
Yeah.
It's and a lot of Nork guns, if you buy them, they're like coated in oil, just absolutely coated, like rust. They don't know the definition of rust, and this one's the same thing. This one's kind of interesting. It's got like the frame is in the grip, like a P320 or something like that. The similarities between a P320 and that change afterwards. But anyways, yeah, my buddy's got that. I've got a maple seed this weekend. It's the last of the year for me, and should be good. It's gonna be a drum heller on Sunday.
Yep.
Still spots available if you wanted to come out. Weather's gonna be chilly in the morning, but it's supposed to warm up afternoon, get to like 12 or so it should be fine.
12. Awesome.
Yeah. I got some reviews out. I got a video review out on the Mantis X10.
I saw that.
You know, I was okay. So with the Mantis, it noticed I've got this flat blade trigger on my Glock, and one thing I didn't, well, my buddy's Glock now. One thing I didn't notice about it was that it's got a very thick, wide trigger on it, and I was actually pulling a little bit. Oh, it was milking the trigger a little bit over. Yeah. And like I had noticed I was shooting left with it. I was like, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just like I'm pushing it that way. But I shot a couple times with that Mantis, and it's like, use more trigger finger. I'm like, I'll try it. I'll try more finger, and it like cured it instantly. So that was interesting because I don't have that problem with my Shadow, but with that Glock with that wide trigger and just where my finger was, I just need more trigger finger on it. And I just didn't put it together. I didn't put it together until the stupid phone told me. It's kind of embarrassing, but at the same time, very interesting. And the other thing I was thinking about was it came with like a barrel clamp. If I have a problem with a shooter at Maple Seed, what if I stuck that to their barrel and saw what was going on at the moment of the shot? And I don't know if it's going to work or not, so I'm probably not going to do it. But I'm really curious.
So why don't you test it out and like take the kids to the range
with what guns?
I don't know.
I'm going to be at the range this weekend. It's going to be my Maple Seed.
No,
maybe if someone's like if something weird's going on, maybe I can stick that to their barrel and see what's going on with their shots. Because
you're there all weekend, correct?
I'm going to go there Saturday, and then Sunday's the event. Yeah. Maybe I'll do some shooting on Saturday.
So why don't you do some shooting on Saturday night?
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, get some rounds down range. Try out the Mantis, see if it works well for rifles. Because what's interesting about it is with live fire is that it knows, because it's got a very sensitive accelerometer in it. It can tell what's going on with the gun just before the shot went off. Mm-hmm. And that's very interesting because a lot of people like slap the trigger. It's basically like telling you what's going on with your trigger.
Right.
While that's less of a thing with rifles, when you're doing precise rifle marksmanship, your trigger pull is pretty important. Mm-hmm. And I bet that would show some faults.
I would like you to do it and see what the feedback is, because you do it automatically anyways with shooters. And you can diagnose whatever's happening. So it'd be good to get the feedback if the Mantis X is saying that too. I don't know if it'll work or whatever with a rifle, but if it is,
it's got a rifle mode on it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So I'm gonna
old
clamp
school
someone's barrel and away she goes. Yeah, let's see what happens. Got the video review on the Covenant 7 out, and then I got articles out on some flashlights like the NU25, the Mantis X10 Elite, the Daniel Defense Delta 5 Pro, which the video should be coming out shortly on that, and the XT2CR Pro WTF BBQ flashlight.
Okay, where are all the articles on
my
hunting
website?
Gear?
Yeah, huntinggearguy.com and my YouTube.
Weren't you doing something for Caliber as well?
Yes, I need to get that over to him. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've been writing, like I don't have any guns, so I'm not going to the range. So I'm just like writing and finishing up video articles and video reviews and that kind of thing. Okay. I got like a whole bunch of footage just like shot, and it just needs to be like edited and voiced over and that kind of thing. So that's what I've been like picking away at.
Right. Okay.
And then I did a refresh on my best Canadian firearms media article the other day. That's that running article that I have that shows like which Canadian gun mags there are, which blogs, which YouTube channels, which podcasts, all that kind of stuff. So that's refreshed on the YouTube. I have put how many subscribers everyone has on it, just so you can get a sense of like how big some of the different channels are. And can't do that on podcast or anything like that. So
No.
I updated it anyways.
Our YouTube following sucks.
But there's more people to listen to the podcast.
Correct.
Like
Our metrics are that we're number one in Canada.
That's true.
We're number one. We're number one.
I mean, thinking about the format, like it's a 2-hour spoken show. There's not a lot of visuals. It makes like a podcast I would listen to definitely. That was that format. A YouTube, maybe not. Maybe with YouTube, I'd want to see more, right? So I do appreciate the people who watch, but
short in 5 minutes. That's it.
I watch some longer stuff too, but it'll be like Forgotten Weapons or something like that. 30 minutes into a gun or something.
Yeah, that's true.
Or a Fias talking about some gun, talking about the history and going way, way deep on some gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's it for me. Gonna have a cold night Saturday night camping out at
Are you camping in the van down by the river?
I got a candle. I got a candle. I'm gonna put in like a little candle holder. I'm gonna run that all night.
You should be fine. You wouldn't freeze to death.
Oh, I won't, but just for a little heat.
Yeah.
That's it for me. Hef, what about you?
Not a lot for me this week. I do gotta take my reloading press apart because last time I was loading, it did not want to feed shells into, like, for the shell coming into my decapping die. It didn't want to feed just right, and so I'd have to reach around and just pop the shell a little bit just to get it to feed, and it's almost like every second shell, so it's pretty brutal. So I'll take that apart and see what is going on there. Might have to contact Dylan and see. Other than that, Superstition Mountain registration opens tomorrow, so I'm going to take my chances on actually being able to go down, and I'm going to register for that.
What's the date for that, by the way?
That is usually around end of March.
What state is that in?
Arizona.
Okay.
It should be. Yeah. I'm hoping that will be okay by then.
Yeah, like I got in last year, but I couldn't make the trip, and then that was right when lockdowns were happening. And everything. So
things are opening up. You should be able to go.
Yeah, hopefully all the stars align, and it's actually a lottery too. So that's another one. It fills up, and then they, in a few weeks, we'll get a lottery. They'll draw the lottery and see who actually got in.
And you'll get your notification.
Yeah.
And then you'll fill out your forms.
Yep, my Form 6, and then I start looking for other matches around that time that I could possibly hit on the way down. I know I usually try and hit up Utah because they have a Tuesday night steel thing at Sups right in St. George there, so I usually try and hit up one of those nights on the way down. And the one year there was actually the Safariland Expedition multi-gun championship the weekend before Superstition, so that was good because I was able to hit that up and then go and hit Superstition and come back. So nice 3-week holiday.
3 weeks of just traveling from state to state, competition to competition.
2 weeks, and then like St. George to Vegas to Phoenix, like that's 8 hours of driving total. So
yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah, that's terrible, especially like 36 from here to Phoenix. So
all right, what else did you do?
That's it for me.
Did you fix your truck?
No.
Oh, jeez.
No,
you'll have to do that before you go down there.
Yeah, I was going to say it might be important.
That's possibly, I don't know what I'm doing with it yet. That's another reason why there's not a lot for me, because I've still got to find an engine or figure out what I'm doing with that. So
costy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Engines, yeah. Engines.
And like I said, it might just turn into a winter project where I just convert it into a diesel, which I've always wanted to do, but never really had the ambition to have my truck down for long enough for me to do that.
Mo, do you know where a guy could find engines? No?
Like a 6.4 liter Hemi?
No.
No.
Auctions? No.
scrapyards, but
Scrapyards.
Yeah,
yeah.
Mm.
there's not a single one in Western Canada from what we've found.
Oh, really?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
not for the
Interesting.
6.4. I can
Well,
get
I'm
the
sure
smaller
that-
engine of 5.7, which
Yeah.
it would be stupid to put that in my truck. A 1-ton dually, it'd just be silly to put that engine. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking I might end up going to a Cummins, but we'll see. If I find a cheap engine, then I'll toss it in and then I'll get rid of the truck.
Okay. Kijiji. Jarrett says Kijiji. Or
Yeah, and there's not one in Canada on Kijiji. Thanks, Jarrett, though. I keep looking.
You look at everywhere, aren't you?
you just don't know the right people. That's all.
You're just
You can-
scouring.
People can get you one.
Yep.
It won't be legit, but people can get you one. I'm
Yeah.
kidding. You do not. Anyways.
Just walk town looking for 6.4 badge, and oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go. All right. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, that's it for me. So, Kelly, how about you?
Last week I went away for the weekend. Did you? Kelsey Breeze. I spent my Saturday at Milken. It was the mental marksmanship clinic with Linda Miller and Keith Cunningham. And it was probably one of the best courses that I've ever taken my whole entire life. It was awesome. Not only and I didn't even shoot a gun. We spent all the time in the classroom and we didn't get out and shoot like we were hoping to because it got so late. But we had such a good time. I went with a couple people that were part of Project Maple Seed. They heard about the course and they wanted to go to it. So there was 4 of us from Project Maple Seed. There was Kelly, Greg, as well as Ross and myself. So senior instructors here in Ontario. So we're hoping to take some of the information that Linda and Keith gave to us and try and incorporate it in some ways into Project Maple Seed's. We do our own version of, or it's a very pared down version of what they talk about. But it was such a good time. Very knowledgeable. They do it from positivity based. So everything is reinforcing the positive activities as opposed to saying don't do this or don't do that, or it's more like
Verbal abuse is not part of like their learning structure.
No, they don't verbally
Oh.
abuse you.
Hmm.
Framing. So we've had them on before, and we actually had them on talking about the mental marksmanship. So we did 8 hours of just talking about how to put your subconscious with your conscious as well as your self-image and put it together, and then how that actually works with performance, etc. So, and it's not just, and I was thinking about this is not just with shooting, it's every aspect of your life. So it's really good. I took copious amounts of notes as well.
Excellent.
And yeah, so I highly recommend it. It was just one day. It's $250 for the day, and it's probably $250 well spent. You're going to get more from that course as opposed to going out and spending $1,000, $1,500 on PRS course. Go and do that course first, and then follow it up with the next course. So they don't have the calendar. So I think next weekend or the weekend that's coming up is one of their last weekends out there. But they're going to put it the 2022 schedule soon. So once that happens, I'll post it on Facebook or wherever on our website, and people can have a look at it as well. Highly recommend going there. It's bucket list for a lot of people who want to get training. So Milken is a premier here in Canada place to go to. So I'm going to have them on again. We're going to be talking about wind reading. So Linda and Keith were all for that. So we're going to have them on talking about that. I just have to give them a couple of dates. So we'll figure that out. So they'll be on again. And just to let you guys in on a secret. So they have the mental marksmanship book. They have wind reading book, and they're coming out with a new book, and it's going to be up in fall of 2020. Is it fall? Yeah, I think fall 2020. And it's going to be on hunting.
Huh.
Yeah. So we should have them on and talk about that too.
How to skin a deer with like a golf ball and a quad and a rope.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's the thing.
So,
Yeah, it is. The thing, yeah.
it is a thing. So yeah, had a really good time. I didn't do much other than, the usual stuff that we do. Had a phone call with Adriel as well as our other IITs.
I wasn't on that call. I missed one.
Oh yeah, that was Monday. That was Thanksgiving. We did talk about exactly what Adriel you were just talking about with the Mantis X trigger. We were talking about how to diagnose trigger problems, what to do about it. So be interesting what you have to say. And yeah, we were supposed to go out yesterday and do our Wednesday night is now non-skeet night, but we're going to do IPSC training instead, or skills instead. We didn't go out. Both Kelly and I weren't able to get there, so I am I'm after the show. I'm going to be preparing for tomorrow. Tomorrow is ladies. All the ladies from the calendar are going to get together this weekend, and yeah, my car is full of stuff right now. I have so much. It's just stuff. We're going to eat, drink, be merry. Weekend with the girls. So I'm not shooting this weekend. That's it.
Cool.
Mo Betta's left, and he's coming back. Oh,
He's
here
coming
is.
back. There he is.
All right, Mo, what did you do in guns?
Okay, I'm back. Not much. I've been on a break for 2 weeks, so no matches, no range trips, no reloading ammo, no dry firing, absolutely nothing. I have my next match will be like an Halloween match, October 31st at Eastern Ontario.
Okay.
Looking forward to that. But yeah, I haven't done, not intentionally, just worked out that way after the Ontario provincials. I didn't end up signing up for anything. I met a new friend who, after I told her what I'm interested in, she was honest and said that, guns scare her, right? Which is, I guess, a normal thing that we hear when talking to, people for the first time, whatever. And so obviously I filled her in on, like, what's true and what's fact, what's fiction. And I'm going to be taking her to the range at some point, not too long from now. And so that'll be good because, I actually haven't done that in a while. So it'll be nice to take somebody to the range, right? I get my 22s ready, rifle and pistol, probably like a 38 special for the revolver and stuff. So nothing too
Exciting.
great. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, and that's really it. So, but I'm itching to get back into some IPSC matches because I was on a good streak for the whole summer, and then the 2 weeks of nothing. So
Okay. Well, Jared said that there's a level 2 in Granville this Saturday, and still has a few spots if you're interested.
yeah, I have plans this Saturday, else I would go. But thank you, Jared.
Okay.
We'll get into upcoming events sponsored by Telis Alpha. Telis Alpha is a Canadian digital agency that works exclusively in the firearms vertical. They help with business processes, strategic planning, websites, e-commerce, and battling the stigma the industry carries with banks, merchant processors, and social media. Learn more at telisalpha.com. From listener Chris, we have the Action Pistol in Guelph, October 22nd and 23rd. You can register on Practice Score. From Kevin S., we have the Thunder Bay Combat Club. We'll be holding our last IPSC match of the year on October 24th in Na La Lu. I like that somebody wrote that phonetically. Thank you. That's awesome. Yeah. Because I would have messed that up 100%. It will consist of 4 stages plus 1 classifier. Please bring 100 plus rounds to be safe. Register in advance on Practice Score for a $20 match fee. Was good. Or $25 for walk-ons. All right. We got upcoming Maple Seeds. Somebody's typing over it. Tickets available for, what do we got? Drumheller. This is a tough one. Winnipeg.
Spelling it out phonetically for you.
Regina. Excellent. And on Kamloops is that was really hard. So, and 1 spot in Kamloops. And of course, you could sign up on Maple Seed Rifleman We don't have any ladies' days coming up, do we?
Nope.
No,
It's too cold.
It's too cold. Okay. Has winter come upon this great country?
I think we're there.
No, it's 25 degrees here.
Yeah.
Fall has come.
We can get into the news.
Mhm.
Do we have any news stories? Did we want to talk about the
Keep it
archer,
right.
the archer guy,
Oh yeah, the archer guy.
the bow and arrow guy? So
He had some videos on YouTube. So if you don't know, some archer in Norway.
Norway. Yes,
Yeah,
Norway.
Norway.
Do you consider them an archer, mass shooter with a bow and arrow? Killed 5 people and injured 1 with a, I think it's just like a recurve.
Yeah, it
That's
was.
what it looked like.
Just like some super fat dude with a recurve, just like one on a tear
Fat.
in Norway. Yeah,
Mhm.
killed 5 people. I've always said that a bow and arrow would be fantastic. They're very quiet. They're accurate to 20 meters. They're deadly.
Clearly, yeah.
Is this the wrong tack to take, Kelly?
No.
Is this insensitive?
Oh.
Sorry.
Yes.
Go ahead, Kelly. You could handle this one.
Nope. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. It's
Yeah,
interesting, I
right.
guess, because it's a bow and arrow. It's not something that you would typically see. It kind of proves the adage of like crazy people are going to crazy. They're going to
Yep.
do this.
Yeah,
weird
crazy's
stuff, right?
crazy, right? So
Yeah.
He had posted on YouTube that he was going to do this, and no one reported it. Did anything about it? I feel like a lot of these, there's red, like clear red flags all over the place, and not enough people like take it seriously or do something about it.
Mhm.
Someone saw that YouTube channel. Someone was like, "Oh, this guy says he's going to kill a bunch of people in Norway with a bow and arrow."
Well,
I'm
he
sure
was
he-
charged. He was charged as it being a terrorist act because he targeted specific people. That was too
Oh, okay. Okay. Interesting.
And they took him alive because how the hell do you kill yourself with a bow and arrow?
right. I don't know. Okay.
He was talented, but not that talented.
We don't have any CCFR legal fund donations.
No, but we have a contest.
Okay. You want me to read that? I'm ready.
Yes.
Okay, let's do this. Keep your right to defile your guns. Yes, you can still modify, Dremel your guns. All right. If you listen to Slamfire Radio, you'll hear us talk about our love of everyone's favorite tool, the Dremel. With the way things are going, soon you may not even be able to mod your guns with files and Dremels. But with CCFR Legal Challenge Fundraiser, you can help save your rights and win a chance to Dremel your way to freedom.
Yeah.
Here's how to win a chance at an Adriel the Dremel Demigod autographed cordless Dremel 8220. Wow. That's amazing. Step 1, donate to the CCFR Legal Challenge by you can do that through their website, obviously.
Yep.
You can send money to finance@firearmsrights.ca. Use the password help CCFR uppercase.
All one word.
All one. Oh, yes, uppercase and all one word. Step 2, send us an email with proof of donation, name, and contact info at slamfireradio@gmail.com. The draw happens on November 18th. And so far we have one from Richard L. And Justin H.
So we're officially making it official this time because we kind of talked around it last episode. So
Last episode, I went to Home Depot and I picked it up. I got the Dremel.
So you
And does Adriel's signature like up the value of it? Like,
Yeah,
what would you
hello.
say? What
I
would
feel
you
like
say?
it reduces the value, but I want to say, for the purposes of today's show, we'll say it increases it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's worth
Fair enough.
thousands more now.
It does come with, because it doesn't come in the box, I did also pick up a carbide bit for it, which is like key if you want to like just get into some metal and just mess it up. That does
Essential.
some real damage. Yep.
Mm.
Yep.
And I did found some stickers and patches and stuff to throw in the box as well.
Sweet.
Nice.
All right.
Now I'm out.
Not yet. Okay.
Now more important than ever, become a member. Donate to the legal fund by sending an EMT to finance@firearmsrights.ca. And for our new guns, we have our sponsor, Bolt Action Coffee. Slamfire Radio is a brand ambassador for Bolt Action Coffee. The coffee is roasted in small batches and is quite honestly some of the best coffee you can get your hands on. Send it to your house by going to www.boltactioncoffee.com. Discount code Slamfire, uppercase, one word. And for our new gun stuff, we have what a sale on selling below 22 long rifle, standard velocity 40 grain, 500 rounds, and save 10%. Who's that from? There we go.
Adriel puts all these in. He's the
Spectre
gadget
Ballistics.
guy. He's the dude that, yeah. He finds us all the cool stuff to talk
It
about.
says click here to order from magdump.ca.
Spectre Ballistics is putting this on, so it's 22 LR.
Okay.
Yep. And you save 10%. And it's $44.96 for 500 rounds. That's not bad. S&B.
Yep.
S&B I just find them very waxy.
Waxy.
Wax on, wax off.
I don't
They
know.
wax off
The
in the barrel.
SK is like real greasy. That is like gross.
Yes.
But it's so
I don't like
accurate.
it.
I don't
I
care.
know. I just don't like handling it. It makes me go, ew.
Yeah. This is exciting. Bullseye has Hodgdon powder in stock. So if you're looking for Hodgdon powder, I think on any H4350. That stuff's impossible to find.
Ooh,
6 high
yeah.
score tight group. Little gun, CFE pistol, CFE black subsonic, CFE
Those look like good prices too. So
BCL2. Ooh, BLC2. That's been hard to get as well. No H4350, but no one has that stuff.
That's a really good price for that. That's not bad.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Good stuff. This next one, Delask Arms is selling out some of their CZ grips. So they have some low profile, so like thin grips for your CZ. They're aluminum. They got them for $68. So if you needed a little bit of bling, if you wanted those gold grips, now's a chance. Pewter. Just call them silver. Come on. Orange, pewter, silver. What's the difference between silver and pewter?
I like pewter because it's pew pew.
Oh, they don't have a
Pewter's
difference. They don't
like
have a picture of that one.
gunmetal color.
Black, red. I like that orange. Anyways, they got some grips. They've also got them for the CZ 98, 95, one of their 90s. They got some grips for those that are fairly inexpensive as well. Black Box Customs has the Agency Arms Syndicate S1 slides back in stock. So if you're looking for some stuff for your Gucci Glock or your Polymer 80, and you want like a fancy slide, they got them.
Cool.
They are Gucci.
all right.
Yep.
Very nice looking.
Okay. Anything else really cool?
That's it for the cool.
That's all I
it
can
for cool?
find. Yeah.
That's all you can find. Okay.
I just look now. I don't actually buy, so I'm like that Marstar one with the two Carcanos. Oh my god! I was like, oh, I kind of want to tell my buddy to get that.
You're just a window shopper, aren't you?
Well, I don't want to have like boxes stacked up to my buddy's place of like new inbox guns that are like, yeah, buy this, and then once I'm done buying my new house, I'll come buy it off of you.
Yeah. I'll
so.
take possession of everything.
Yeah, I don't want to just keep the stack building. The stack has to stay the same. And welcome to the show, Dave Hartman from the 3 Gun Show. Welcome again.
Well, thanks for having me. It's great to be back. It's been a while.
Yeah, I think like 2 years or something like that. But
Yeah.
you know, since then there's been this Rona that's been going around and ruining a bunch of our matches. Not all of them though. I mean, we still have a couple here and there. But yeah, it's good to have you back.
Well, it's wonderful to be back. The timing, it couldn't be better because we are kind of winding down our season a little bit here. We got a couple months of just here's one onesie twosie matches and stuff like that, and then we're getting into the winter. most people are going out and hunting and stuff.
Yeah, we're basically there as well. Well, I mean, like last time we talked, I think the state of 3-gun in Canada was quite different than it is now. You just mentioned it before the show here that we had a mass shooter in the east of the country go on a bit of a shooting spree.
What were you talking about? Professional, and then I have an alarm going off during the podcast.
That's the alarm to be like, make sure you're on the podcast.
That's
right?
exactly what it was.
And so anyways, this guy went on a shooting spree, and completely unrelated to whatever gun he's using or how he got them. Our prime minister put in some restrictions. So now, like, the long and short of it is that for 3-gun, we no longer use ARs. We can't use ARs. ARs
oh wow,
all prohibited, and we don't have like AK-47s or anything like that. So it's made for a really weird situation where in Canada for 3-gun, so we still use like the same shotguns. We still use pistols. All our pistols are limited to 10, so it's almost like IPSC or USPSA production or whatever.
Yeah.
But our rifles and local here in Canada, we now have local manufacturing capability for AR-180s, because AR-180s are non-restricted. So like you've got the BRN 180s in the US, but we have a whole cottage industry of like 4 or 5 manufacturers now of 180 parts. So we've got all these weird, wonderful aluminum upper and lower AR.
That's interesting.
And that's what people are using now is those instead of AR-15s.
And so how's that going?
Okay. I mean, like, it takes time to work the bugs out of that kind of thing.
Sure.
And I think like they cost a lot more, and they're not as good as AR-15s, like just straight up, because there's such an aftermarket industry that's there with the AR-15s, and with the AR-180s, they have like different gas systems. They're very specific to what length of gas tube you need for them and whatnot. So a lot of guys, like a lot of our clubs have had to open up new divisions for people who were like left stranded, who had an AR and that was their gamer gun, and now they don't. And can I bring my SKS? Can I bring my 22? And so we've opened up all these weird divisions for these refugees of firearms competition, because they just don't have anything anymore.
Well, that's the great thing about 3-gunners, though, is that we will find a way, right? So just pick up the next gun on the rack, right?
Yeah. So even if that's an SKS or a Mosin or whatever other nonsense you've got, M1 Garands. I know a couple of people now who have gamer Garands because because of our weird mag laws, Garands are grandfathered in. You can still use the 8-round end blocks with those. So there's guys running like red dots and brakes and upper, like all sorts of crazy stuff on their Garands, and that's
no way.
And now, yeah,
that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's probably like once a season I'll see a Garand at a match, and never after that. And they're super rare because everyone has like this nostalgia wrapped up in it. It's a sentimental piece now. That's crazy to see gamer Garands. Gamer Garand
308 usually. And you can build them from kits, right? So a lot of these they're not like, there's no historical value because it was just a receiver when they got it, and now it's a gamer 308 rifle.
And that's a trip.
Yeah. But no, we were still running 3-gun. We've still been running 3-gun for the last 2 years. A lot of our restrictions don't apply to like outdoor activities, so a lot of these outdoor matches have been just fine, and they're just going forward. Yeah,
that's great. So I didn't follow it too closely, Red, because it didn't really affect me, and I was even farther away at the time. I was in Texas, but the incident that we're talking about, it was primarily pistol related, or no?
He brought an AR in from the States, and that was one of the firearms he used. And then I think the other one was in a Mini 14 that he got from an estate. The guy didn't have you need licensing to have firearms in Canada. This guy did not have licensing, but he managed to get a couple of.
So he was a criminal.
Yeah.
He was actually prohibited from owning firearms.
Yeah, history of violence. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Police were warned that he had prohibited firearms. He chose not to do anything.
Man, that sounds like our FBI.
Yeah.
Like if they don't start the action themselves, they usually don't investigate it. So it's kind of interesting. So if the FBI is investigating something, usually they got a guy that started it. That's how it works here in the U.S.
Okay.
They started it. They have to tie up that loose end.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, if anybody ever asks you to go into a federal building and start some shit, that guy's a Fed. Don't follow him. That's fine.
Good tips. Good tips.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it had nothing to do with like the action that they took afterwards had absolutely nothing to do with preventing or wouldn't have done anything about that situation before. Had nothing whatsoever.
Man, that's messed up, and that's usually how it goes here in the U.S. too. They move to ban assault weapons when there's like a shotgun killing or something like that, and like I don't know. I guess I'm kind of more cynical toward it lately than I was like when I first started my firearms journey, but it's like murder is still illegal as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
So I honestly don't know what is going to stop people, and definitely it's not laws as that incident you're talking about demonstrated. There's ways around everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're supposed to be on a show right now.
This is what I wake up here. Jeez, I don't know what's going on. Pardon me. Okay. Take the battery out. That'll fix it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that's where we're at in Canada. But I think most of our leagues, well, Kyle, you'd be able to comment on this. Most of our leagues are still pretty much outlaw right now, especially because we've got all these, we would use American rule sets and just straight up adapt them for Canada and make as little changes as possible. But our restrictions are so weird that it's difficult to use. Yeah. Just like off the hop, whatever you've got from the US. So like our mag limits are weird. Our guns are, differently set up than the US.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, even up where I'm at, our scoring is different than everyone else because the rest of Canada still uses the 2 anywhere. But where I'm at, the people who created the league really like the Vickers scoring. So that's what we do.
What is Vickers scoring? So seems like I should know it, but
IDBA targets are down 1, down 3, half second per down.
Well, that's easy if you don't count good, right? Because you can just move your fingers down.
Yeah. Yeah. I still shoot them like 2 anywhere though.
Yeah, that's how I shoot USPSA matches, and I always end up at the bottom. It's because of that. Like, no, Dave, you're supposed to aim in the center. Yeah. It's interesting that you guys don't go by like standardized rule sets, because I would assume like with IPSC, like do you not have like an IPSC culture?
Oh, that's standard.
It's
super standard. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. For handguns, it's taken care of. Yeah.
Okay, so then doesn't IPSC have like long gun rules that y'all can fit into? You can abide by it? Or is it just the equipment is so different?
Multi-gun? Like there is a multi-gun rule that we could use, yeah.
Yeah, there's a USPSA multi-gun. I'm not sure if there's an IPSC multi-gun.
Their multi-gun, from my understanding, was just like single gun on a stage. So it didn't really take off, I think. I think there was a IPSC multi-gun, but yeah, it was like 1 gun per stage.
Yeah, it's not fun.
There is one match up here that unfortunately last year and this year didn't go, but they're heavy. They actually use the USPSA multi-gun rule book. When I was running matches, Prairie Fire, yeah. And then when I was running matches before my range got shut down from doing it, I was actually getting into UML and bringing UML rule set and matches up here for that. Other than that, I know like
Three Gun Nation. There's a couple of clubs that use. Ours is modified off 3 Gun Nation though. Like Lethbridge has a 3 Gun Nation straight up club, and I think they have some in BC. There's one maybe on Victoria Island.
Yeah,
Campbell River.
Yeah, Campbell River.
Yeah.
Reg.
But most of them are outlaw. Most of them are just like wild. Yeah,
that's pretty much where we're at too. Like most of the matches are outlaw. 3 Gun Nation's completely gone. UML I think had 4 or 5 matches this year. There's another new sanctioning body that's not necessarily sanctioning body, but rule set. Just recently had Max Leograndis on the podcast, and he's doing I always call it the pumpkin spice latte because it's the Practical Shooting League, the PSL, and so they have their own rule set, but it's a really interesting amalgamation of like a lot of the things that he learned in IPSC, from shooting USPSA, and then again from let's see, all the other, I guess, outlaw carbine matches and stuff like that. So they had a 2-gun match, and it was time plus scoring, and they call it points per minute because apparently time plus and hit factor are like trademarked by USPSA or something like that. So they weren't allowed to call it that. But anyway, they invented their whole new target and stuff like that for it. So they really did big things with that match. And there's another one to come up here in December. But yeah, as far as well, so the USPSA multi-gun match this year was a PCC handgun match. So that gives you kind of the idea of the state of 3-gun in the US.
COVID really put a damper on a lot of shooting sports. Like a lot of people just took their foot off the gas and they just hung out inside and didn't really do a lot. And I think it's like now it's starting to pick up a little bit more, and people are starting to do a little bit more. And then the clubs are starting to get going. But even this year was like we had a couple of like false starts. We had a run of COVID in the spring, and that kind of kept us from getting things started in the spring when we wanted to. And then we finally get going. It's like, can we go now? Can we go? Yeah. Okay, let's go. And now we're getting another rush of it here in Alberta. But
well,
yeah, it's been.
Now that you mentioned the state of 3-gun in the States, Dave, when I first come on the show, like what was it, 5 months ago, when we were originally talking, I had posed the question because I hadn't been seeing a whole lot on Instagram or anything for matches, and it seemed like it was dying down there, and we had a little internal discussion wondering if it was COVID or what. What's your you were just saying that you thought that things slowed down, but then I remember hearing on one of your recent podcasts you said things were picking up. So what's the state out there?
Well, it's kind of tough, right? Because the people that don't show up to matches, you can't talk to them and figure out why they stopped showing up to matches, So that one's kind of hard. But in talking to I guess the people that I've been able to connect with, and then people here on podcasts and Instagram and stuff, there's not only a high price of ammo right now, but there's an ammo shortage, and that I think for the most part is loosening up. But unfortunately, you're still paying 50, 60, maybe 70 cents a round for 223, where everyone wants it to be 29 cents. It's like, you're gonna have to wait a while, So I think I did some math off of the last 2 mass shootings we had when we had ammo rushes and ammo droughts, and it's 7 years to readjust back down to what the market will bear. But the other thing that everybody's got to remember is like we just had like wild ass spending of trillions and trillions of dollars. So like nothing is worth 29 cents anymore. So everything, like $1 is the baseline for everything. We should just get rid of change at this point. But
welcome to Canada.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. Getting more and more like each other every day.
I know, right?
Yeah. We're like fraternal twins. But the other thing is, and I talked to several guys that told me this, is they were, they said like, hey, look, my wife and my kids have been cooped up for a year. And if our very first time that we're able to travel, if I go to a match, I'm going to be divorced. And so I need to take my family to Disneyland or something like that. And so I'm not sure if that stuck after that, or if we're going to be seeing people coming in again. And one more bad thing before I talk about the good things, but then I think also people just figured like, hey, I didn't shoot 3-gun this entire year. Usually I catch a couple matches and several club matches. I have a lot more disposable income. I wonder why that is, and so they're not buying guns, not buying ammo, not traveling to matches. And so there's a lot more disposable income. So it's possible that, people are doing the prudent thing and saving because they don't know what the government's going to do next, or that they're, waiting it out, or they discovered a new hobby and something else, and maybe unfortunately something they could do indoors, which is, not good for COVID. Right. So,
yeah.
On the bright side,
did you guys have a run on AR-15s? Did you guys sell a lot of AR-15s those people will end up shooting three gun anyways,
Yeah.
because like
Yeah.
there's very little you can do with one of those things anyways. Like 3-gun and competition shooting is perfect for an AR. All these
100%.
people will be like, what am I going to do with this thing that I
Yep.
bought for like home defense or just in case the Rona zombies came for me or whatever? And now they're going to be sitting on it and they're going to have to look for something to do with it. They're going to get into 3-gun. Give it a year or two. You'll get another bump in it.
Well,
That's exactly where I was going to go with the bright side is that there's, a million new AR owners now. And that's pretty much how a lot of people get into 3-gun is they panic buy a gun and then they go to the range, punch a few holes in a 10 ring. And they're like, okay, now what? Now what can I do? So we welcome them with open arms when they're ready.
Yep. You want to? So you're saying that it's already ramping up now. So I'm thinking that
No, I don't really see it ramping up now. I'm still seeing the amount of people that are going to matches and stuff like that down from last year when we're talking about the same matches. But what I'm saying is ramping up or is coming down or adjusting already is the price of ammunition.
Yeah.
Like it was up over so being 223 or 556 is your benchmark. That was up over $1 a round for quite a while. And it's now, I think I priced some at like 50 something cents a round. So it's half
It's
of
dropping.
the peak. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still about
Is it that
30%
here? Is
higher.
it less? I got some Barn All for 50 cents
Oh.
a couple months ago.
I find that ammo down in the U.S. is a little bit more when we do it cost basis and analyze that piece. It's a little bit more expensive down in the U.S. to purchase ammo. Where
Really?
Yeah.
We can often get ammo from other places. Like in the rush times, we can get ammo from China. You guys can't.
no.
Yeah.
Cheap 3 cheap 556. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're commies and we can't buy stuff from commies except for plastic.
and the entire retail market.
Yeah, exactly. Like this, I won't point at the microphone. That's probably made in Australia. It's keyboard. Keyboard was made by commies, but designed in California, so that makes it okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but the price, that price is definitely something. Because if you have to cook off like 100 rounds of everything, and 100 rounds of 223 is $100. That's hitting the pocketbook. That buying that crate of 1,000 rounds is $1,000. There's a lot you can do with that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we did a price analysis on like a match that we were going to shoot this year, and they actually lowered the round count just to kind of alleviate people's problems. Oh, the other interesting problem is like we can't find 12 gauge anywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's we weren't expecting that one. Anyway,
it's coming our way then.
Yeah,
You guys can't find it.
So the end of that story was it's about 20% more expensive to shoot this year, which is not that much. But 12 gauge surprised everybody because the last one the last ammo drought was like 2012 that we experienced, and that was like from Sandy Hook, and you could always go buy 12 gauge off the shelf. And for some reason this time around, like everybody's buying 12 gauge. Like first all the buckshot's gone, then all the slugs are gone, and then like believe it or not, like the number 9 birdshot is gone, just completely gone. We couldn't find any. It's nuts.
Wow.
The Sandy Hook 22 LR shortage was the weirdest one.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was a mass shooting and now 22 LR is unavailable.
Well,
I know.
There's a lot of things that are going on. It's a layering effect. So you do have COVID. Then you had some of the manufacturers shut down because of COVID. Then you had Remington shut down. Then you also have Biden getting elected. So that means everybody's buying until, because he does. Everybody's buying guns and ammo because, it's Biden.
Hedging their bets.
They're hedging their bets that something's going to be banned.
And then we had all the riots over the summer. So people that ordinarily lived in air quote safe places were buying guns so they could actually feel safe in their safe places. So.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that's there's so many layers to it why you didn't have any ammo.
Yeah.
And the ammo that you did cost you an arm and a leg. And we had lots of ammo, like 9mm when you guys didn't have any.
Crazy.
The prices started to soar and we still have 9mm, but the prices are coming down a little bit, but not that fast. So
they'll come down.
They'll all manufacture ammo up there.
Yeah, 12 gauge, actually.
Yeah.
But you guys don't have like center fire ammo manufacturing plants or anything?
Don't get
Not-
remanufacturers. I
Yeah,
don't know about
remanufacturers,
any-
not cheap ammo, though.
No.
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 Hmm.
The cheap ammo that we get come in containers across the ocean. That's it.
Interesting.
Yeah, Chinese, European stuff.
Yep.
Mostly American for like 223 or 9 mil, but
Yeah.
right now we're having to buy like PMC and, some other stuff.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. No, it's still there though. Yeah, but COVID's kind of put a damper on it. I think that, maybe next year we'll see a little bit more matches. Mind you, I say this, but like my local club continued to sell out their matches like all year this year. They've all been like sold out day one.
Yeah.
The big summer match that we did was sold out and had like a huge waiting list on it. It's been fine. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing I'm seeing locally here is like club matches are definitely selling out. Like there's a lot more participation at them. So maybe it's just that, people can't justify, 250 to $350 for a match plus, travel and stuff like that. I mean, just before you even dip into ammunition, you're at $1,000 to go to a match. So maybe that's what people are holding off on.
Maybe the risk of travel too, if there's like lockdowns or restrictions or other stuff. Yeah.
That's another thing. So I was working for a rifle company during like the start and like the heavy part of COVID. And I traveled pretty much the entire time except for the first 2 months. And so it doesn't seem like a big deal to me, but I forget like there's people that probably haven't left their house. There's people that are still getting food delivered to their door and they're wiping it off with baby wipes before they bring it inside. Yeah. So yeah, as far as like the people that, and I guess like if you are a 3-gunner, you kind of identify with risk taking in general, right? Because it's sort of an extreme sport. And then there's like not a generally agreed upon rule set. And like a lot of 3-gunners seem to like that. So maybe it's the type of personality that would buck the, I guess the cautious path of maybe we should stay in the house and wear masks. And no, it's like, screw it. We're going to go to Missouri and we're going to hang out with a bunch of other people and touch them, hug them and stuff. So
throw around kettlebells and go through tunnels and run around with a loaded holstered pistol and a rifle in my hands.
Yep. And then we're all getting in the same place afterwards. So
without masks.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Did you had a question about that fantasy league?
Yeah, I wanted to give you an opportunity to go over the fantasy league and what's going on. I think there's till next Wednesday to register for that.
Yeah, so through the 20th of October. So what we did. I guess we'll back it up a little bit here. Is it's basically like fantasy football, fantasy baseball sort of thing. You pick your team, which is a number of shooters. In this case, we picked 3 from different divisions. And then we assign handicaps and point values to things you can achieve, like 1st through 10th. And then based on where your person or your team finishes in a match that we've chosen, which is the Vortex Shootout, we assign points and then we choose a winner. So the idea is like you get to have fun playing 3-gun when you're not even at the match. And we do so much bench racing, like, oh yeah, Steve could definitely beat John, that kind of thing. Like, no, his best day. Like John's 10 years younger and blah, blah, blah. And so it's one of those things where it's like, well, let's put our money where our mouth is and see who's like actually good at picking the scores. And so far we've had like a pretty good response to it. We've got over 55 people signed up for it right now. And so there's 55 people that are going to play in a game of shooters that are in Texas shooting, and then we'll just all be glued to practice score and watching the for updates and stuff. It's so funny, but it's fun because there's been a lot of trash talk in the 3-gun talk group and stuff, and so people think they've got the best teams. And man, if this is something interesting and something exciting, we're probably going to do it for a whole season next year and do like a series of matches, something you can follow along season long.
Is it open to people in Canada?
Sure. I don't know how you can win prizes, but sure.
See, that's the thing. I plan on winning, and I want that IWI gun, but I can't get it here.
Well, so we'll just keep it here, and you can come visit anytime you want.
That's so
and
nice
I'll just
of
pull it out.
you.
Yeah.
You can visit it.
See, that could work. I'm going to be registering for Superstition Mountain tomorrow. I have another buddy that lives in Wyoming who actually makes my holsters and that, so that'll give me an excuse to go to Wyoming, pick up a gun on the way down to Superstition.
See, now we're talking. See, there's a solution to everything for sure.
Are you
Oh,
driving across the border, Kyle? Or are you flying down there?
Oh, I drive down.
Drive.
Flying.
Ian's going to go down
free
to hard
gun,
as hell.
especially internationally. Flying for the shotgun match was enough. Never mind. Internationally with 3 guns.
Yeah,
Hey,
right.
you get first on, first off, escorted through the airports. You can make sure that you get your guns and your ammo. You're good. Fly with guns.
It's making weight. I mean,
Yeah, that's the
Taking
hard part.
weight. You don't need clothing. You don't need buy bags. You can buy some beans in the 3-pack down there. You don't need anything. Throw them out when you're done.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. No, I think Ian's just borrowing everything. He's just going to fly down and just borrow everything.
That's a good idea.
Because, like, you imagine, like, driving down to the U.S. with, like, an AR-180 or something like that when there's big, beautiful AR-15s across the border, uncapped magazines.
I was already kind of planning on getting an AR built down there and then just drive down to Brent's place and pick it up.
Can I see my AR?
Yeah.
Take pictures. Send it to me.
But I want to get back
Every
to
once in a
the
while.
fantasy league. So how you guys, I think I was looking, you guys handicapped 6 people in TAC Ops and 5 in Open. Did I see that correct?
Yeah, basically what we did was we picked the people that had shot the match in previous years, 4 years previous, and finished in the top 10. We gave each of those people a handicap based on like how we kind of felt they were doing this year in other matches and their placement at the match previously. So yeah, it ended up being about 9 people. Now, since then, since we recorded the podcast, the next day we got the full list of people that were signed up for the match from the match director. And there's a lot of people that weren't initially on our radar that are actually in the match that have a really good opportunity of winning. And those people are worth double points. So it's kind of fun. Yeah. You might choose a person that doesn't have any sort of pedigree at the match before, but they've won all kinds of other matches and they come out from nowhere and win.
So do your research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're this list. You guys got this full list of the competitors are in because I think it had to be by the time your podcast was out that only those people that were registered by that time you're eligible to win points or whatever.
That's correct. Yeah. So there's a published list. So we did a whole podcast about it. And it's just 3gunshow.com/305 if you're interested in checking that out. But at that link, the 305 has the whole list of people that are in the match, what division they're shooting, and then also the people that we've handicapped as well. So all that information is sitting there waiting for you at that link. And yeah, there have been people that have signed up and asked if we can put them on the list. It's like, no, man, like 30 people have already chosen. We can't put you there. But if we do this in the future, I know that there's like some software out there for so Adam, who was on the podcast with me, he does it for motocross and he can change his choices like the last minute, like up to the night before. Because it's all based on a software that runs the program. And we're doing this one on a spreadsheet just because it's the first one where we don't even know if it's going to be cool. So I didn't want to invest in a bunch of software and stuff. But if this does end up being something that people want to do, we'll have that sort of thing where you can change up to the last minute. Like, oh man, Kyle joined the match. I want him. So go make your changes.
Not down there. I don't even break top 10 at the majors down there. So,
well, maybe that'd be a bad choice then.
Bigger pond down there.
Yeah.
More 3-gun shooters. Yeah.
Yes. More.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to do
Better
some
weather.
research and I'm going to get an entry into that for sure.
Nice. That sounds good. Yeah, we've got a gun to give away from IWI. We've got holsters from LAG Tactical and Weber Tactical. Scope from actually discounted scope from Vortex.
Nice.
And what was that last one? Oh, magazines from Alice Gunworks. So yeah, we had to just kind of put this out there. This is something I've been stewing on for a couple of years, and finally we decided to do it. And then all these companies jumped on and said, "Hey, we want to be a part of that. It sounds like fun."
Okay, so there'd be no chance of getting the IWI up here, but the mags. Could I convince you to put a rivet in one of the sight holes and ship it out?
I will
Doesn't
set
matter how
those
high.
mags down anywhere in the U.S. that you want me to. I will just leave them there and walk away.
Well, that's awesome. Thanks.
Awesome.
Do you shoot a 2011 as well, Kyle?
I do, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. It's just limited to 10 rounds.
Yeah, I still shoot like 140 mags, but yeah, limited to 10 rounds. And that's the best part of the trip when I go down to the States is bringing my drill out and drilling out all my rivets.
Nice. Yeah, we can
so
find a
silly.
place to put a rivet for sure.
Well, 1/8 inch rivet goes in the sight hole just perfect.
There you go. Problem solved.
Yep.
Yeah, it's such a silly thing when Canadians go down there. We bring a drill and a rivet gun, and we drill out the rivets, and then we go shoot our match, and then on the way back, we rivet all the mags again,
Yeah.
and then bring them back into the country. Now they're safe again. No
Yeah,
mass shooting
Yep.
can happen. No.
Got to make them safe. Yep.
And for like a P mag, they gotta be pinned to 5. We got certain mag laws that allow us to use other mags that gives us higher capacity in a rifle. So like when I got my P mags down, my first trip down, I literally just drilled a hole. So I think most of my P mags only hold like 2 rounds.
Like, that's good
I
enough.
didn't even measure it. I just gotta be riveted. I'm not even using these up in Canada, so
Just a minute.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not really hilarious at all.
it's kind of sad. Yeah.
It's sad, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is. It's super sad when you think about like the implications of it, but how arbitrary everything is just always makes me
Right?
laugh. It's like, really,
Oh,
this
we
is
win.
legal and that's not.
Yeah, we win on arbitrary.
Yeah.
But we
It's
still
sad.
are able to get cheap Chinese ammo, and
I know.
we win in that.
I know.
It's really sad when you got like a $250 D60 there that's like, pinned to like 3 rounds. Or well, actually, that one I did measure, so it holds 5, but still.
Oh wow.
Whew, that hurts.
Yeah, that one's
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what we're up to in Canada. Any of you guys have a question for Dave?
Mm,
No.
what episode are you up to, by the way?
So we are on 305.
Getting up.
Yeah.
I haven't listened for a long time.
Yeah, so it took a little bit of a break last year. I actually
Yeah, I
got
saw that.
a job and joined the working world, and so the project I was working on required a lot of extra time, which didn't leave time for podcasting. But it's good to be back and doing it again. So been going here for a couple months and getting all excited about 3-gun and podcasts and bringing all that good stuff to people again. So it's good to be back.
That's good. It's great to have you back on. I love listening to you. You have some really interesting guests, and I like when you go to the competitions. You're just pulling people right off of as soon as they screw up a stage and ask them how they felt about it.
The 3-gun world is like, they're brutal. The 3-gun memes group on Facebook is hilarious. Oh, they're constantly attacking each other. Someone drops a gun at a match. They got video. They got a meme of it like that day. They don't even wait.
Not just one, it just floods.
Yeah.
So the other thing I want to know is, are you back living in a trailer and going from competition to competition? Because you were gone for a long time there.
Yeah, for let's see, I started that in like May of 2016, and I spent the winter in Texas, and then did that for another season. So yeah, I think I racked up like almost 2 years inside the trailer. But now I'm living in an actual house made of wood and fiberglass and all that stuff.
Wow.
You
got a job. Too.
Thanks. I know it is kind of boring seeing the same place every single day, but no, it's good to be here in Wyoming, and Wyoming is one of the more free states in the union here, so it's good to be back in the American West, and good to be where people think what I would call normally a little the air on the side of freedom. It's kind of cool. So yeah, not traveling around near as much, just going out and back for matches and everything. So it's been good.
All right. Cool. So I do have a question about this fantasy league. Who are your picks? And yeah, can I get in on it? Like with you? I piggyback on you. Just
Yeah, so you wanna know my picks?
yeah, who he picks?
Oh man, I don't know if I should tell my picks before. So we were gonna do this on the Wednesday.
Okay, give me 2 of your picks.
Two of my picks. How about I tell you 2 people that would be good?
Okay.
I don't want to taint it. Okay, so the way it works is I'll give you a bad choice and a good choice. So my friend James Gill, who a lot of you may have heard on the podcast before and know him from shooting on 3 Gun Nation. He was Marine Corps team and stuff like that. Very much a rifleman. He is a fantastic shooter and somehow always ends up at second place.
Oh.
And I know he's always bridesmaid. And so we had to handicap him at second. So the only thing that he can do is be better than second, and then he gets double points, which is first, but first is not worth double points. So he's a bad bet because the best you can do is 15 points. So you got to pick someone worse than him. So that's a
don't
bad
bet
bet
on him.
That's a sad, yeah, I know it's a sad one. Tons of people did choose him, but that's a bad bet. So a good bet is there's people that are like right on the bubble. And if you've watched them in matches, you've watched them be 20th place, and then they were in 15th place, and then the next year it's like, oh wow, he's playing in like the top 11. Now he's busting into the 10s. And just recently at a match I went to in Missouri, Generation 3 Gun, there was a guy that was so close to putting on like a really good match, and he had some minor little bobbles, and then his next match he DQ'd from. So he's going into this match. I think he's got like a little bit of a vendetta, and he's also like on that bubble. So it's going to be like go or below kind of thing. So as they say in drag racing, but
Okay, who's that?
Should we give you this one? Okay. So this guy is,
you gave us one don't pick, and you gave us one you should
this guy is Taylor Olhausen. So he's a guy from Texas, and he's been coming on quite a bit in the last couple of years, I guess. And just recently I saw him shoot in Missouri, and I'm like, okay, this guy is ready to pop here. So I feel like he could pull out a top 10, and then top 10 is worth double points for him because he didn't have a handicap.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there you go. There's your free one.
Thank you.
Now, if you win, we got to split the prize.
You can keep the rifle because that means I'll just have to come down and visit. That's all. Wyoming.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
haven't been to Wyoming at all.
You should get visitation rights on the rifle.
This is true.
Yeah.
Shared custody.
Did any of you ever go shoot at Rock Castle Shooting Center in Kentucky?
No, it was on my radar, but couldn't make it happen. No.
So they were, just a destination place, just an incredible location, like 25,000 acres or something like that, backed up to national boundaries or national forest boundaries, something like that. And so they could never have neighbors. So it was great. But unfortunately, it doesn't exist anymore. But they had folks that would travel from Brazil and borrow rifles and shoot their pro-am match. And they just happened to borrow the same exact rifles every year. And it seemed that like they had their names on them. But yeah, I've heard of the same thing for Minnesota matches as well. There's a lot of Canadians that come down and shoot Minnesota matches.
Yeah,
and
Saskatchewan guys, I think.
Yeah,
Cool.
we've seen them at Trigun, and then Jeff Kirkwood Memorial match, which is in Minneapolis area, and that's a fun one because it has a shoot off at the end for the entire match. But yeah, every time I go to a match in Minnesota, Wisconsin area, seem to run into Canadians.
We're nice people. Not
Like,
bad.
You can tell by the holes in the mags.
Why is
The
that guy an
freshly
extra
drilled
hole?
hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Well, maybe just before we go, just let our listeners know where they can find out more about the 3 Gun Show.
Yeah, so 3gunshow.com, and we're on all the socials at 3 Gun Show, and we've been putting a lot of effort into a YouTube channel recently. So, yeah,
Cool.
It's been fun to do that type of stuff. But 3gunshow.com is where we have everything, and find us in podcasts wherever you listen to this one. Actually,
Awesome. Oh, thanks for coming on, Dave.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's great to speak to you guys again. Keep fighting the good fight. Push back. Never give an inch.
We'll do that. Count on it. Or we'll come and visit you down in Wyoming.
Yeah. if not, we got room down here.
Okay.
Bring ammo.
Good.
Yeah.
Start digging
Cheap
a room in your
ammo.
basement.
Thanks, Dave.
Take care.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks again to our main topic guest, Dave. It was a great topic on 3-gun. It was really interesting to find out on the scene from the U.S. and then comparing to here in Canada. Listener feedback sponsored by Armory DC Gunsmith. Armory DC Gunsmith is a full-service gunsmith who specializes in firearms refinishing. He offers hot bluing, parkerizing, and Cerakote finishes, as well as wood refinishing. Check out his online inventory of new and used guns, firearms accessories, optics, and more at www.dcgunsmith.ca. Follow Armory DC Gunsmith on Facebook and Instagram. We've done the Facebook comments. Yes and no. Anything that stands out? Anything that stands out?
Part, yeah.
Greg was mentioning that the CZ that they have grips for is the 97 CZ 97.
Okay. We don't have any emails this week.
There were a couple, but they were just like the contest entries.
Okay. All right. No reading time. Darn. No new Patreonies, or we do have a new Patreoni. Let's see.
Do we?
Yes,
Did I delete that for no
that's a
reason?
brand new Patreoni. Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
so we have Richard L with $5.56. 556. Perfect. Thank you for that. And if you want to support the show, you can through Patreon. We'd really appreciate it. Anybody have a shout out this evening? Shout outs?
Shoutouts? Well,
Nothing for me.
nothing from Adriel. How about Kyle? Kyle, do you have a shout out
Nothing for
today?
me. I don't.
Nothing from you?
Nope.
Okay. I do. I'm going to give a shout out to Dave for coming on because it's been so long and it's great to see him.
Good guest. Very good guest.
Yeah. And I highly recommend his podcast if you don't already listen to it. And I'm going to give a shout out to all my peeps that came out to the marksmanship clinic on Sunday because it was a really good time as well. So great to see us learning more so that we can give it knowledge to more people, more Canadians. So we're hoping to do that. So, yep. Okay, that's it. That's it for me.
Okay. My shout out would be to all of you that put this effort out to get new people into shooting, because that's like the best way to, fight the bad government and stuff, right? To get the new, because we all obviously believe in this stuff, right? And we care and stuff, but it's the people that don't know about guns or flat out say they're afraid of guns. We need to get them, at these ranges and stuff, and finding out that they're not as scary as they seem, right?
Mhm.
So, check us out on Gunners of Canada. Like us on Facebook. We're up to 2,838. Give us a review on Facebook. Join the CCFR. Very, very important. And we'll see you all next week.
See you, everyone.
See ya.
Bye.